Hello everybody, this is VerticalSandwich and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Quest VIII. And, we have places to head. Namely, west. Through this big wastelandy thing. Okay. So down the hill we go. So how's everybody doing? We're fine, VerticalSandwich. We're fine. Alright, muddy hands up here. It's a little weird. Yeah, these guys can become a real problem because they'll call for backup and then like the new guy will call for backup and before you know it you can end up with a line of like 8 of these things. It's just ridiculous. And we're clearing them out pretty good. At least they're not tough. So, they probably think they're pretty tough. I don't know. I was watching somebody else's LP recently, and they were talking about, they were like, what kind of thing, like, would walk around and just attack random people like this when they were talking about monsters, and I was like, what kind of person is running around in the wilderness just slaughtering anything they run into? Like, you know, I mean, there's a monster side to that story too, you know. Like, you know, maybe we're near their nest or something. I worked in East Texas for a while, and was working along these canals. And as I'm working, we're digging holes and stuff along these canals, and like we're working in groups of 2 so that one person could just keep an eye on like the crocodiles or alligators, whatever they have down there, that are floating in the middle of these canals, just trying to stay away from us because we didn't know if we like ran into like, you know, a nest they had on land or something, we might be in trouble. I don't know if that's how alligators or crocodiles or whatever work or whatever, and I don't know. I mean, I'm a Midwestern boy, so like just seeing these things was enough for me, but it was fun. It was interesting. We got good pictures. I've got good pictures of them. Jessica Basane's 5 skill point. Wow, Jessica! Let's see what happens when we pop those into staffs. Nothing! You failed, Jessica! Alright, so somewhere in this wasteland, there are 2 things in this wasteland I'm worried about. Okay? One of them is the obvious plot point, which is the boat we're looking for. Because it's down here. And then the other thing is there's a treasure chest, so. I don't know necessarily that those boulder things, like, are not the most startlingly, like, evil monsters in the world. They look like they would explode or something. They look like bombs from like other RPGs where if you hit them enough they would just blow up. I don't think that's the way it works. I can't prove that. I don't know what they actually do, what their job is. They do that. They jump and plow into you. Which, I mean, for a rock, if a big heavy rock could jump and hit you in the head, it would cause some damage. Even if you were wearing a helmet. Or a pointy hat, or a feathered hat, or whatever people are wearing. Whoa! We got level up all over the place here. Alright, Angelo, make me proud. Whack! Awesome! Whack is an instant death spell. We will probably never use it. Aha! His attack power increases by 10 when he's equipped with a sword. Oh, and we got a treasure chest! A rock bomb shard! Awesome. Rock bomb shards are amazing. I don't know. I can think of one thing that there's one alchemy recipe that you would use them in. So I believe our treasure chest is right up here. Alright. Well, we've seen these guys before, right? I mean, this is actually, like, now we're in a really good position after our double run through the Swordsman's Labyrinth. We're actually in pretty good position to fight this stuff out here. The stuff in the Swordsman's Labyrinth seems to be a little tougher. I don't know if it's necessarily tougher in that it was appearing in larger quantities. You know, maybe if we were fighting 5 of these these rock guys at a time, we might have an issue. But again, I do love it when enemies don't attack. We got a piece of rock salt. So one of those must be its rare drop, and one of those must be its common drop, because it was this. Well, whatever. By the way, each enemy has a potential to drop 2 different items. I don't see our treasure chest up here, so it's supposed to be behind a rock. So, oh, I think I know what our problem is. Anyway, each enemy can drop 2 items. There's a rare drop and a common drop. So, I mean, not that that really has a lot of bearing on kind of anything, because, I mean, you can't really control which one, but... And obviously more powerful enemies will have better common drops and better rare drops, and some of the best items in the game you have to get as rare drops from the most powerful enemies in the game. It's not. So. Although when you get up far enough in the enemies that we're gonna fight, eventually you will get enemies that also have really cool common drops. But largely by the time that happens, we'll have everything we need anyway. So. Oh, you stole magic points. That's not funny. That's not a funny dance. Whoa, he just turned into a ball of clay or something? That's a little weird. Although everything's kind of a little weird, right? That's not everything's kind of a little weird. Alright. Kill him, Angus. Well, somebody's got to get him eventually. Thank you! Whoa, jeez. That was a little much, Angelo. I mean, you just had to hit him normally. You didn't have to. You didn't have to slaughter him. Hit him so hard his children felt it. Like, we gotta take him aside, be like, Angelo, man, calm down. Like, not okay. Not okay. When the enemies are super weak, you don't have to wait a lot. Alright, our treasure chest is farther, is way down. It's like in the south area here. And this may be a little tricky for us, but like, we have to get this treasure chest. It's not a mini medal though, so. It's supposed to be up on a rise like this, so. There we go! Okay, awesome. And there's our ship, by the way. Obviously. A sledgehammer. And puts it in the bag. And look at that. That actually is it's a better weapon than if I had bought that weapon for him in Pick'em. So we actually made a good strategical move without even knowing it. But I just couldn't. It's gonna be a while before we see another another weapon shop or something. So. Oh, I don't know. It might not be that long. I guess it depends. I guess it depends on how we work the game. Oh, no, wait. It's going to be a long time. I'll actually, I'll explain when things become a little clearer. But, yeah, anyway. I mean, obviously, we all know the RPG formula here, that, like, we're going to try to get this boat, and then obviously we can venture on the ocean, and all these places are going to open up for us, so. So here we go.
Well, I never. What have we here?
It's a boat, buddy. It's pretty obvious it's a boat. I mean, boat.
Yes, this must be it.
You
The
think?
ancient ship we heard about in Pickham.
Yes, yes it is. You're a genius.
Now we can pick up Dul Magus's hateful trail again.
Yes, yes, now we can.
But it's enormous. How on earth will we get it down to the sea? I must admit, I'm rather stumped.
It's a good question.
If only it wasn't quite so far inland.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the problem.
I know.
It's not that it's just up on, like...
Now, let's see. Here's my castle.
Okay, there's his castle.
Which means now we must be... Here! Unbelievable!
Okay,
We're
I'm still not
directly
following.
south of the castle. I had no idea we were so close to home.
okay. Still not following.
In that case, we should go back to the castle and see if we can find mention of this ship in the library. There's no time to lose. We must return to Trodain. To the castle!
Okay, so now here's our issue. We've got to go to Trodain, to Trode's castle, obviously, Trodain. But our issue with that is our third Mori monster is going to be at Trode's castle. Like, so when we get to Trode's castle, we're going to do the kind of same thing we did with the Swordsman's Labyrinth. I'm going to walk in so that we can zoom back there, but then we're going to collect the last Mori Memo monster. And then we're going back to Mori's place. So, and that is going to completely sidetrack this LP. Period. So, I don't know exactly what else to say about that. Except for the fact that prepare to be sidetracked. Because that's what we're going to do. Alright, so on to Trodain. We have to go through that little cave there, but... Anyway, and I am going to milk the Mori stuff for as much as I can get out of it at this point in the game. Before we unlock the ship. And then we'll unlock the ship, and then we're probably gonna, like, just do a little stuff and go back. I mean, it's not... And then we should have a break for a while. And I'll explain all that. I mean, it'll become very obvious very early what we're doing and what the advantages are. And I'll talk about it while we're going through it. I mean, I'm not gonna... By the way, these are weird. This is like we went from Gorillas to Pink Pongos, which is equally as bizarre to me. That, like... Although at least, well, I don't know. I don't know if Pink Pongo makes any more sense than Gorillas. So anyway, so the closer we get to Castle Trodain, the more excited I get about Mori's memos. So. But again, it'll become obvious. If you've played this game before, you know what we're doing, and you know why we're doing it, and you know what's going on. But, if you haven't, I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm not going to... And the kind of explanation going through it, like, will be a lot more fun than me just kind of blah blah blahing about it right now. But I just wanted to let you know that, like, don't expect us to get the ship in the next, 3 or 4 videos. So, because Castle Trodain, the other thing too is Castle Trodain is a hard dungeon. It is just, I mean, we can probably make it through it, but to jump basically right out of the Swordsman's Labyrinth and go to there, I'm not feeling that. Oh, okay. Are we... I did not, like... Ugh. I am really, really, really bad with directions. And not in real life either. In real life, I'm great with directions, like... But... More ping pongos! I like these guys because they're not gorillas. Or whatever. I'm going to continue to slaughter that name because I just don't understand it. I get that it's, again, I get that it's supposed to be kind of punny, but it just did not work for me on the level it was probably supposed to. Thank you for not attacking. Even though he's the first one in line, so he's the one we're gonna kill first. Jeez, it's still desperate attacking garbage. Man, Yangus is doing some nice damage too with his new weapon, which is good. These guys aren't so bad. I mean, they could have done far more damage to Jessica, without a doubt. I mean, and it will be a long time coming. I mean, if you go through, I went through my last game giving kind of every enhancement that I could to kind of like to Jessica to keep her safe, and she ended up, I think, being my character with like strongest defense, like, which is just ridiculous. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I mean, you want to balance people out, you know, necessarily. So, but that takes a long time. I mean, if that's what you're shooting for, it's really not that important to do that to her, but. Alright, well, we're out of the wasteland anyway. So. I'm gonna have to start looking for a place to shut this down. So if this is like the generation 2 of bullfinches. So. And they're tough. We didn't need a Kasap cast on us, the jerk. Oh yeah, Psych Yourself, you're gonna last long enough to use that. No, maybe he will. That fourth guy's got a good chance of, out. Now we took care of the second guy, never mind. Alright. Let's try to take care of that fourth guy before he mounts an attack. Oh, he's not even gonna, he's just gonna psych himself up some more. He's welcome to do that as long as he wants. There we go. Dun da da dun. Alright, well I guess this is probably as good a place as any to shut the video off. So, I will talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time on Let's Play Dragon Quest VIII.